4A semifinal number 1 features Park City and Dixie. That one takes place Thursday at Rice-Eccles Stadium, and it really should be a pretty good football game. Here's my keys for both teams to that game. Let's talk about Park City for a second. Offensively, Park City needs to throw the ball early and often this game to loosen up that Dixie defense, so that way the balance that Park City does demonstrate offensively can really take over the game and they can control the pace and tempo of the football game. I expect them to get the ball to wide receiver Mark McCurdy as much as they can. He's a great player, has been making plays for them all year long. Defensively for Park City, they need to limit the big plays out of Dixie's quarterback, Reggie Graff. Reggie Graff is a junior quarterback that has had a great year. He's been able to lead that Dixie offense to score a bunch of points this year, and I really expect that to continue. Park City needs to do what they can to limit the big play potential out of Dixie's offense. All right, so let's talk about Dixie for a second. Offensively, Dixie, like I said, they have that great quarterback, Reggie Graff. I expect him to have the type of game that he's been having the last several weeks. And if that's the case, it's going to be a long day for Park City because he is a great quarterback and really will put pressure on their defense. Defensively for Dixie, they need to come out with the attitude that they're going to stop the pass. Now, there's two ways you can do that usually, and that's getting pressure on the quarterback or just dropping a bunch of guys into coverage. What I've seen from Park City, the best way to do that is put some pressure on their quarterback, make them make some mistakes, whether that's throwing interceptions or just being inaccurate with the football. And that will give Dixie the best chance to win this game and be playing for a 4A state championship next week. My pick in this first game of the 4A semifinals is Dixie High School. All right, the second semifinal in the 4A will take place Friday at Rice-Eccles Stadium. This game features two teams that are extremely fun to watch, and that is Pineview and Orem. If you haven't seen either one of these teams play this season, I definitely recommend being at this game because there's going to be a bunch of offense, a bunch of points scored, and it's just going to be fun to watch. My keys for this game, I'm going to start out with Pineview. Now, anytime I've done a preview or a game where someone's playing Orem, I've talked about the idea of limiting or stopping Cooper Lagat and Puka Nakua. I don't know if that's really possible based on history and the evidence of what has happened this year and last year. What has worked to slow down Orem offensively is to put pressure on Cooper Lagat with your front four. Now, I watched them play Bingham earlier in the year, and that's what Bingham was able to do. Bingham was able to put pressure on Lagat in the pass game with just their front four, which was huge. And they were able to stop the run with those front four as well. If you know anything about Bingham's front four, that makes perfect sense why they were able to do that. Now, Pineview's athletes, I don't know if they're going to be able to do that, but that's really what it comes down to for Pineview is doing all that they can to limit Lagat in the run game and get pressure in the pass game with using as little blitz packages as possible. If it sounds like a tall order, that's because it is. Not a lot of people have been able to do that. Bingham was able to do it early in the year. It would be very interesting, in my opinion, to see Bingham and Orem play again, just to see how that game would shape out differently. But that's what you have to do if you're Pineview. You have to do it with those front four players on your defensive line. Offensively for Pineview, they need to keep doing what they've been doing the last couple of weeks. They've put a bunch of points on the board and they have gotten a bunch of yards. Now, this could be a lot of scheme, but I think they do have the athletes to do this against really anyone in the state. And so what it comes down to, in my opinion, is who's going to make the most plays on offense and whose defense will limit what the other offense does. If Pineview can do both those things, they give themselves a shot, and we'll see how this game plays out. All right, let's move on to Orem. Orem's high school football team is one of the best in the state. I've already mentioned Cooper Lagat quite a bit, as well as Puka Nakua. They're not the only two that they have on that offensive football team, but those are the two things that drive their engine, so to speak. I really expect them to come out and have a great game and light up the scoreboard once again and really have their greatest game on the biggest stage this weekend and the next weekend in the state championship. Defensively for them, they need to come out with the attitude they're going to stop Pineview's run game and really make them one-dimensional. If they can make them one-dimensional, I really think that helps their chances of slowing down that prolific offense enough so that their own prolific offense, their own awesome offense, can come in and outscore them in a shootout. And that's what I expect this game to be. Is I expect it to be a back and forth battle between two great offenses. That's how I view this game, is it's a game between two great offenses, and it comes down to which of those offenses outperforms the other and which defense can step up and make the plays necessary to win the game. I really have to consider who I believe has the best overall football team, not just who has the best players. And in my opinion, that is the Orem Tigers. That sets up a state championship at the 4A level between Orem High School and Dixie High School that would take place next week at Rice-Eccles Stadium. There you have it. That is our playoff semifinal preview. I hope these games are as good as I think they will be. I hope to see some of you out there at the games on Thursday and Friday. I'm not sure which games I'll be to. I'll post those on social media, let you know what's going on, and I'll be live tweeting the whole time. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, give me a like. That way you get all those videos that will be posted in the future. But looking to have a great week at these games. Thanks for the watch. We'll see you.